Hello, family. Hello, hello, hello. This is Rosalind. So, you know what that means? That means it's time for real talk. On Real Talk. Y'all know what we do on Real Talk. What we do is we come aboard here and we purge of all those things that hold us down from having that true relationship with Christ. Now, tonight, we have a panel of informed guests that will walk us through the world of dating, the world of marriage, and the world of loss of a spouse. For some, relationships are never easy. And when we pair it with the hurts, the expectations, and the accomplishments women have achieved, it becomes even more complicated. Yes, yes. Now, tonight we have a little chat between girlfriends. Now, my girls are Sarah Beecham, author and speaker Addie Garden, Speaker Terry Gant, and Speaker Murray Bozeman. We got a panel here that's so bad. We're going to have a good time tonight. Now, all of these ladies are strong and accomplished sisters that they're here to share their journey and maybe teach us all a trick or two on how we can dodge some of those bullets and save us some unnecessary heartache. Yes. Now, we will also have an introduction to the book, Run, Sally, Run, by our very own Sarah Beecham. Yes. Now, this book includes some interesting tips, if you will. Some interesting tips on on what to look for when we are attempting to maneuver through the web while in a relationship and while preparing for that relationship and even when the relationship has ended. Yes, we can see red flags. Sometimes we see red flags, and you know what? Sometimes, sometimes we fail to, or we just choose to ignore those red flags completely. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Now, ladies, what I want y'all to do is come on in and I want you to introduce yourself to the family. Yes, yes.
Hello, family and friends. I am Sarah Beecham, and I am the author of Run, Sally, Run. Run Like Hell is on your heels.
Yes.
I'll tell you, I wrote this book. It was actually a self-help guide because after being married for 32 years, I was widowed and I was looking for a self-help straight talk, like talk to me, sister, girlfriend, about this world of dating. And I didn't find anything that resonated with me. So I thought, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna write my own book because I'm sure there are women, Christian women out there dealing with there has to be dealing with these same issues that I'm dealing with and dating for the first time as an adult. Now, believe it or not, and I know some of you probably say, what? You may not be able to understand that, but I know that there is somebody out there in Facebook land that understands exactly what I'm talking about. You're a grown woman and you're dating for the first time as a grown woman in your life. And so you run into these new age people, these 21st century people, 2020, 2019 people. And what I found was that I was unprepared for the dating world. I was so green and unprepared that I needed someone to sit me down and have a conversation with me to let me know that guess what? You're not the first one this has happened to. You will not be the last. And my sister, you are okay. This too will pass and you will be better for having gone through it. So the book is a hilarious book. It deals with some very deep issues. It really does. If you can think about a book that is therapeutic for you, healing to the spirit and soul, but at the same time will make you throw your head back and laugh out loud, That's what Run Sally Run does. Uses music lyrics like almost doesn't count. And I think you better go on and call Tyrone. Come on, come on, come on. So, ladies, stick with us, and we're going to talk about some of the things that made Sally want to run. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good afternoon, ladies. My name is Mary Bozeman. I am what you may call a Arky Cali Texan girl. I started in Arkansas by way of California, and I have relocated to San Antonio, Texas. I was married for 28 years. I didn't want to get a divorce. I had to get a divorce. I found myself after vows of when I remarried my husband on our 25th wedding anniversary, I found myself after the second marriage being single now. That's a strange place to be when you said 28 years ago that until death do us part, and both of us now still have a pulse. I want to thank you, Real Talk, for asking us to come, because real talk is what we need among sisters. We need to real talk each other into encouragement. We need to real talk each other out of the caves that we put ourselves in. We need to real talk our daughters. We need to real talk our sons, and we need to real talk ourselves. I want to thank you so very much for this opportunity, and I look forward to this journey even after Real Talk is over.
Hello, Facebook friends and everybody. My name is Terry Gant, and I bring greetings to you from Augusta, Georgia. I am a divorced woman over twice, and I've had some ups and downs. I can relate to the book. I saw myself, and I want to say today, I will be happy to discuss with you some tips and ideas that I learned from being divorced, from being single, to motherhood, and to some of the things that I learned from the book that I didn't even know I had done before. So with that, I invite you in, and I just want to give you a piece of what I do and who I am. I'm a poet. And so I'm going to say, today I awaken with a new destiny, strong, powerful, just ready to be, great, phenomenal, the epitome of what God has promised me. Enjoy the show.
Ooh, those introduction sisters. Oh my goodness. All right. Good afternoon. I'm Adney Godin. I reside in the great state of Florida. I live in sunny South Florida. I'm in Miami. My role in this is baby mama drama, baby mama twice around. And a lot of times we feel ashamed because we're baby mamas. And I want y'all to know, you're not the only one. Don't put a crown on your head that someone is trying to literally slam down. Trust God through this process. And that's the one thing I had to learn. And when I read Run, Sally, Run, I realized, woo-wee, that was me in every single chapter. So I'm really excited to discuss this book with you all.
All right, all right, all right. Well, you just met my panel of beautiful ladies. So what we're going to do now, we're just going to discuss some things as sisters to let our hair down a little bit. Y'all okay with that?
We okay.
All right, okay. Now,
yes, ma'am, we're ready.
All right, okay. Now, would you say even the strongest women, the strongest woman needs to be vulnerable sometimes, and sometimes she may want to be rescued? I say that because, as I think one of you all said it, that strong women are sometimes looked upon like they don't have problems. They got it going on. Everything is perfect. That they can handle anything. I, as a strong woman, sometimes I want to be vulnerable. but I also want to be able to let my heart go enough so that I can be vulnerable. Amen.
Amen.
Okay. I want you all to answer that question for me. Do you think strong women sometimes need to be vulnerable, and if and be rescued sometimes?
I will start off by saying, in answering that question, it's almost like for me, a double-edged sword. And I'll say that because in my circumstance, as a widowed woman, and I consider myself a strong woman, and I am a strong woman, but what I did not realize when I was widowed is that when you go through something as devastating as widowhood and an emotional teardown at that level, you are so weak. You are so weak. And I was so weak emotionally and psychologically that I didn't realize I was not the same strong woman. I walked around acting like Sarah because I knew how to be Sarah. So I just told myself I can just be myself. So I knew how to be Sarah. And I was walking around doing the things that Sarah would do. I reacted the way I thought Sarah would react. But what I didn't realize was just how torn down my gates were. And they were way down. And in some cases, they should have been up because guess what? I did want to be, I was in a nightmare. And I certainly wanted to be rescued so bad that I let my guards down when I should not have let them down. So that's my take on that for me. And I'm sure the other ladies have different. That's the wonderful thing about this panel. We all come from different angles.
I think when I think of a strong woman and being vulnerable, I don't think of that as a negative. I think of it as a positive. So many times when we hear words that we have been taught that have a negative connotation, we embody that negativity. When someone is vulnerable, they're not being attacked from something or someone, they're giving in, voluntarily giving in. And so when a strong woman gives over, the unfortunate thing is there are some men, by upbringing, by situations in life, by whatever, become intimidated by strong women. If her package is, I have my house, I have a degree, I have a car, I have a bank account, society has literally taught, sometimes have taught her, you don't need them because you have everything. That mentality doesn't make you vulnerable. It literally makes you a victim to yourself because you put up a wall. And so when I think of vulnerability, I am giving over to that type of situation, and not necessarily just a man, but I'm giving over to that situation. If you are a strong woman at work and you become vulnerable to people who may not have the education that you have, but you need to have them work on your team. If you always appear strong, you appear that you never need anyone or anything. And you end up isolated. And the worst person to not be vulnerable with is your own self. And so I think that if we take the negativity out of vulnerability, you can be a strong woman and give over to something. It's not going to overtake you because that's just not the type of woman you are. But I think if we build up walls, we keep people away and we just end up isolated.
Well, I am definitely adding to what's been said already. Being strong, being vulnerable, with the right person. For me, I would have to say doing the homework, making sure that the person that you're vulnerable with is the person that's there to protect your heart.
Yes.
I don't mind being vulnerable to the man that's going to protect my heart, but I have to have already done the homework. I have to know that we are compatible. I have to know that he is a man after the heart of God whom I'm following, and that I can be a follower of him. So I would have to say being vulnerable with the right person is okay. I don't want anyone to approach me and date me a couple of times and ever think that I'm a damsel in distress. I don't think the third date, you're going to find out that I'm a damsel in distress. And I relate that back to the book as I read some in there about the way we spend our money and how we spend our money on other guys, and the money that Sister Beecham can tell me exactly what chapter this in, but it talks about how gradually you're spending your money and now all of a sudden you're taking care of someone.
Mercy.
I'm not looking for a 50-50. Exactly. Not looking for a 50-50, but I am looking for someone that will protect my heart, that I can be vulnerable with.
Oh man, these sisters gave some amazing responses. I think I'm the only one here that's never been married. So just to share the part about being vulnerable, that was very difficult for me. And yes, I'm a strong woman, but I had to learn how to be a strong woman on my own. It was not like I had a daddy there to, show me and protect me and lead me in a way where I could say, wow, you know what, I can trust this person. That wasn't the case for me. I always had my guard up, but there was a little part of me that said, sometimes I just want to let my hair down and just have somebody just carry the load because it gets heavy, and that's okay as well. But to not keep men at bay, or even people in general at bay when I'm in a situation, I'm prideful. I'll be honest with that. I'm very prideful. I can be going through everything and I'll carry every single one of my sacks on my own. And God had to show me, girl, I'm going to have to break you down out of that. And that was one of the things I learned. It's okay. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to say, I need Superman right now. I don't want to be Superwoman. I want Superman help, please, because Superwoman is tired.
Amen.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Anybody want to add to that before we continue on?
I was going to say, Sister Price, when we look at one of the things that helped me, and when I teach this book at Ladies' Day events and working with Christian women, I always go back to 2 Timothy in the 3rd chapter, where it talks about the type. I'm sorry, brothers, if y'all listening, but there is a type of men that creep in to women. The Bible talks, that's what the Bible say. So like they said, take it up with the word. The Bible said, for this sort are they which creep into houses. And it talks about these women that are silly women. Now, the scripture says silly, but of course we know that, the Bible doesn't use words in the same connotation that we use it. This silly is talking about gullible, talking about accessible. And I put that in accessible. Why am I accessible? That's the question. And then, of course, vulnerable and weak. And what we have to realize is women, we are relational creatures. And if things are not well with us in our relationships, we become very silly, for lack of a better word, very gullible, very vulnerable, very weak, and very accessible. And that for some of us, we have to learn that sometimes, how and I always use this description in the Bible. It tells women, when they were going through their cycles, they had to be put outside the camp. Why? Because we change. We change. Yeah. Hormones get in the way, and we change, like put them over there by themselves. And so sometimes when we're going through these emotional changes or things that bring about emotional changes in us, we need to get off by ourselves. Shut it down, because I'm not ready right now. My defenses are down, and I need to, like Terry was saying, I need to be in a position where I can make a sound decision.
Yes.
And we have to know ourselves, because we have to know when we're weak, admit it, and then guard up.
Okay. Now, before we go too far, Sarah, I know you wanted to bless somebody tonight. So what I want y'all, everybody, men, women, everybody, I want y'all to pay attention, because she's going to bless someone with a little gift. But you got to be able to pay attention because she's going to ask you a question, and whomever answers that question will receive that gift. Okay? So I just need y'all to listen. Now, why do you think we as women, or people, I should not say women, people, why do we linger too long? Or if you want to refer to women, I'm okay with that too. Why do we linger too long in unfulfilling relationships?
We're comfortable.
We're comfortable, okay. Do you think that it's because we may feel like we're not enough? Do you think that maybe, some have a difficult time enjoying themselves?
Okay, so I guess I'll go with this one. When I say we're comfortable, you get comfortable with someone, they know the ins and outs of you, and they make you comfortable. So in my case, when I became a Christian, everything in me was like, let go of this man. And I didn't. I stayed with him. Even when I knew I wasn't supposed to be doing grown-up stuff with him, I still was doing it. And he knew I became a Christian, but it didn't stop us from doing adult things. Why? Because we were comfortable with each other. And God was like, I need you to let this man go. And I was like, I need to hold on to him because I'm comfortable. There's nobody, like, this was my knight in shining armor. I didn't want to let him go. I wanted him to be what I wanted him to be. And God is like, no, he's not it. And when you're so comfortable with that person, it gets to a point where God has to say, I'm going to have to show you better than I tell you, right? Mm-hmm. And when God showed me this person's character and the things that he was capable of doing, I had to, it hurt. It really, truly hurt. It sent me on a downward spiral, but it helped me to be more protective of who I decide to let back in my life, if that makes sense.
I would like to add to that, Addie. That's a lot. Absolutely. I want to say, just from experience, I had mixed emotions. First of all, being married more than one time is embarrassing. I didn't want any people to know that I had failed. A lot of times it wasn't even about him as much as it was about myself, about me not losing what I thought I had gained. Not in looks, but in, again, you're caught up in the world and stuff and things that you've gained. Not even knowing that these things didn't matter. And then from a Christian standpoint, the church had already taught me that being divorced, that's it. You get one man, you don't get nothing else. You've been to the bar one time, one plate. No matter what happens, you've eaten your food, you're full, and you're done, Terry. You don't get more. So I was afraid to let the first one go because I was like, I'm never gonna have intimate relations again. I was like, this is gonna be interesting. And of course it was, but for me, I would have to say just very mixed emotions about being divorced is the reason that I stayed so long in each marriage. And you just try to make it work because you have all these things going on.
One of my acronyms that I have attached to is DNR. In DNR, in the medical field, it happens when the heart has stopped pumping. And so they call a code and they get the defibrillator and they rub it together. And when they place it on the person, they holler, clear. So everybody around the person steps back because the defibrillator is supposed to start the heart. When we linger in a relationship where the heart of the person has left us, we need to stop, clear, and leave. He's no longer attentive. Stop rubbing stuff together and holler, clear. He is no longer supportive. He keeps telling you that he will pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. Stop hollering clear. It is do not resuscitate. If he has left you emotionally, he will eventually start disrespecting you. And the moment mercy Lord, that we allow a man to verbally or physically disrespect us, we've already disrespected ourselves first and given them permission to do it. We linger also because we have low self-esteem. Somewhere along the way in the house that we came from, because it just didn't start with this man. In the house we came from, that you're a pretty girl, you're a smart girl, you awesome, you're powerful. That didn't happen. So when we don't insulate our children, they will take anything to wrap around themselves to make them warm. So women began to linger in places where they should have left long time ago. And I resemble that remark. So stop taking the relational fibrillator and placing it on the relationship where the heart has already stopped beating and hollering clear, because everybody you know will leave because they tired of the, oh, he just won't act right. Girls are tired of that. After 12 years of that, they tired. So when you call them up and go, I want to go out. Oh, I'm busy. I'm washing my wig tonight. I'm busy. I'm vacuuming the floor. I'm busy. I'm picking lint balls off of socks. I'm busy. You linger around because you think that you can change him. And Madia told me a long time ago, the only time you change a man is when he in diapers. So don't linger. Don't linger.
Powerful. Powerful.
I was going to say, add to that, Sister Price, and the answers are great. And what I love, again, about this panel is that there is a wealth of knowledge, and it's coming from different perspectives. I love that. Everybody should get something, because I know everybody's had a different perspective. In the book, there's several chapters, but one in particular, and Mary hit on it when she talked about your girlfriends are tired of hearing it. You know, you make a decision to leave, or look, can we talk about something else when you call me? Because I'm tired of hearing that. And so one of the chapters talks about, it's a couple of them. One of them is the rotation chapter, because you're in a rotation and you just need to find out what day your day is, or stop complaining about it, one or the other. And then the other chapter is slowly making me pay for things your money should be handling. Now, the issue when it comes to certain, women that are dating, some of them stay so long or longer than they should because, frankly, we put things on the table we can't pick back up.
Mercy.
And so when you think about an investment, sometimes we stay with investments too long because you got all your money. It's like, I got to get this back because you've lost something. So you think any day now, the market is going to change and I'm going to get back what I lost. And sometimes, I say in the book, ladies, sometimes when you have put too much on the table, you just got to cut your losses and know.
Yes.
Like my old saying is, you got to know when to hold them, when to fold them, when to walk away, and when to run.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay, ladies. We talked about reasons or signs that we should run, Sally, run like the wind, right? Okay. Share how you relate. I know, Adney, I hit some on it. How can you relate? How do you relate when you were reading this book? What did you see, or how did you see yourself in this book?
I related very wholeheartedly to Almost Doesn't Count. As I stated before, I didn't want to get divorced. I needed to get divorced. I spent half my life. I got married at 24. I spent half my life with my ex-husband. There's only so many I'm sorry and I'm not going to do it again. And let me just put up quotations. Bruh may never hit me because I'm not the hidden sister. Let me just put those up there. So it's only so many of those. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm sorry. I didn't intend to do. Almost doesn't count. I had to love Mary more than I loved the I'm sorry's. I had to love Mary. And as I was going through my divorce, I went into counseling because I lost who I was. I remember Brother Trice, who was my counselor, asked me a question. He said, "What is your favorite color? What is your favorite food? What is your favorite genre of music? What is your favorite beverage?" Every answer I gave him, he asked me why. And every why was attached to my ex-husband. Wow. And he said, "That's not you. So you need to find out what's your favorite color? What's your favorite genre of music? What's your favorite? What's your favorite?" Those 4 questions took me 6 weeks to answer. Wow. Almost doesn't count. And we have to stop losing ourselves. When I got married, probably 4 years into it, I became Dwayne's wife, and I was no longer Mary Bozeman. And I was okay with that. So I basically volunteered my own identity to be gone. When I saw what I had done, my almost didn't count. I was almost happy. I was almost happy, and that didn't count. And so I had to get out. That's the chapter that stuck out at me, that almost doesn't count.
For me, it was Mr. Telephone Man. There's something wrong with my line. Your lies ain't working now. That one stuck with me because I was in a relationship with someone that I thought I was going to marry. I was engaged. We went to New York, proposed to me on the subway. Like, this is the most amazing thing. Oh my gosh, I'm crying. And a couple of years down the line, I want to even say 2 years down the line, I get a phone call from another woman saying to me, such and such and I are engaged to be married. We were actually supposed to be married in August. And I had to go and do math in my head and say, August? He called me and told me he wasn't going to be able to give me no child support money for the baby. And that's when I realized our 7 years together was nothing but a lie. The proposal, the money that he took from me. Yeah, he took money from me and bought his wife a car. Yes. Oh, yes. Claimed that he was going to get my car fixed, gave me a messed up car. So yes, our relationship was based on nothing but a lie. So that chapter, it stuck out to me, in that it put me in a space of, my money was never meant to be for someone who didn't love me. And number one. Number two, if my car needed to be fixed, you should have just took it to the shop and fixed it yourself. Why did you need my money? This woman had to tell me that the man that I was with over 7 years bought her a car with my money that he was supposed to fix my car with. So yeah, Mr. Telephone Man, yeah, your lies ain't working no more. That stuck out to me.
Okay. Well, I would have to say every chapter resounds with me. I guess I was doing this too long back and forth. I like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Let me see which day I want. It's in the rotation. I've been in the rotation. I've been the bag lady. Almost ain't enough because I've done everything I can. No, what's that? No, to the hell no. All those, I can relate to every chapter. I think Sister Beecham, I might need to help you next time. But just seriously, I can relate to everything that's in the book. I've had a lot of experience. I've been married more than I've been single. And so that probably is a reason why. I was a young mother, teenage mother. I probably was the only person in high school who was 18 and married and still in high school. And by the grace of God was able to get, so see, you can relate, you know, got married. Mother gave me to the guy who got me pregnant. And she said, you belong to him. And this is a shotgun wedding. Here you go. So 17, I mean, now here I am in my 50s and, you know, I can just relate to everything in that book. But the most thing that I think I want to say is the last chapter really sums it up, though. When I made up my mind that I was not going to be embarrassed about being married, about being single, about saying no to someone who was being abusive to me, whether it's verbal, physical, psychological, all of that is when I began to say, no, I am more valuable than that. And to be honest, I was dating a guy who taught me some of that. Of course, the relationship didn't work, and that's fine too. But in the process of everything, I was blessed to have somebody in my life that taught me more about how to be a lady, because some of that I missed because I wasn't at home with my mother. I left so early, and so I missed a lot of it. So I would have to say, learning to say no has been the most empowering thing to help me get over the divorce and learn who I
am. I'm like you, Terry. Well, I wrote the book, so every single one of the chapters I could relate to as well. And in talking, and the thing is, in talking with other women, sisters in the church, women in widow support groups, women in single groups, going to single ministries. When I talk with women, and I was telling the ladies on here prior to us coming on that I actually had a focus group that represented every sector. Those were widowed, those who were divorced, those who were single, married, single again, you know. And so in talking to these women, these are some of the things that we came across. But for me, my favorite chapter is the rotation chapter. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, love. Because like Terry, having been married all my life, I was so green. As you know, God forbid, you know, you become a widow after being married since high school and you're in your 50s. Yes, you are going to be green. I don't care if you have a PhD or a GED and everything in between. You are going to be green. You are not prepared. And so for me, that was the thing. I had no clue why I could find, you know, the person on Monday and Wednesday nights. And then the closer it got to the weekend, you know, I couldn't find, I'm like, what's going on? And I started noticing a pattern to the point I write everything down. So I started putting on my calendar. Let me see if this is a pattern here. And guess what? It was. And so I realized, oh my God, I think I'm in a rotation. And I found out after I kept writing on the calendar, I found out what my days were, because it was obvious after. I'm like, oh, my days are Tuesdays and Thursdays. That's why all the time, you know. So, and in the book I say, and the thing is, everyone is a Sally. This book doesn't have anybody's name in it. It's written off of Fun with Dick and Jane, and Sally was running from Dick, and now we know why she was running from Dick some of those times. And I would say, Sally, like Mary was saying, if you don't like being in the rotation, get out of it. And if you're going to stay in the rotation, stop bothering your girlfriends about it, because they are tired of hearing about it. You complain about it. So it's the same thing. So but you know what I found out? Some women, and see, when it comes to women with respect for ourselves like us, some women would rather be in the rotation than be without somebody. And I actually had a woman to call me and just say, and she said to me, won't you grow up? She was older than me. She said, won't you just grow up? In other words, won't you figure out when your days are and just be on your days and don't come messing up the rotation? You just get in line. You know what you're supposed to do. It was interesting. It was interesting. But I learned. And then the idea is we are better and not bitter. And we were talking prior to coming on, and I say the thing about this book, I can always tell, not 100%, but for the most part, when I'm out vending and when I'm at other areas and I'm marketing my book and I'm talking to women one-on-one, I can almost pointedly tell when a woman has been healed from some of the things that she has gone through. Because when I show the book and when I'm talking about the book, oh, if they're bitter, they're bitter. But then, like us, we have gone through these things. We have all been Sally. Some of you are Sally right now. We have all been Sally at one part or another. But when you can look at the things that you have overcome and you can laugh at yourself because you was green, and now, like we said, charge it to the game. Well, I might not have known game in the beginning, but guess what? I'm a good player right about now. So you learn to laugh it off. And that's what it is. It's therapeutic, but at the same time, it's like having a throw your head back conversation with your girlfriend. And the reason why, because you realize I am not in this alone. And if my sister and this sister and that sister, if all of us can be caught up in the same thing, guess what? It does not make me lesser of a woman because I didn't know. It makes me an informed woman because now I do.
Yes.
All right.
And if I could add, one of the things that I found on my journey, as a married woman and as a single woman again, is that there are some women out there who will settle for somebody else's man. And they'll make the statement, they'll justify, well, this is the man that God has for me. And the question I presented to a sister is, how is somebody else's husband the man God have for you? Because God doesn't work like that. He's not going to give you something that belongs to somebody else and bless you with it. The mindset, and I think it goes back to what happens at whatever home they're at, that self-worth, that self-esteem, that I deserve, I am worthy. It happens grade school, at home, kindergarten, first grade. It happens along the way with our own biological sisters, with our aunties, with our grandmothers. It happens along the way. And I think it's so important that we as women have to begin to build each other up instead of tear each other down. If I see you, Sister Terry, and you are dressed from head to toe and looking good, me complimenting you takes nothing from me. If I see you, Sister Atney, and you have bought your house and got your car, me giving you acclimates doesn't take anything out of my bank account. And Dr. B, if I see you and all of the accomplishment that you've made in your life, me giving you the proper acclimates takes nothing from me. I think we have to be comfortable in ourselves to say, my sister has got it going on. I think that we have to get to that point to where we begin to support each other and take each other to the next level, because society expects us to be haters of each other. And we have to change that. We have to change that.
All right. Now that was some stuff, y'all. I hope y'all were listening, because I'm gonna go ahead and say, spit some knowledge for us. Okay. That was some heavy stuff. Now, they just touched on the book. Okay. They just touched on the book. We're not gonna tell you all the goodies, because we want you to really meditate on the book. Okay. So what I'm gonna do now, ladies, I want y'all to let me know some of the things that you all have, because that pretty much sums it up. Okay. Any new projects you want to share? You want to share your social media platforms? Let us know how we can get in touch with you, because you are ladies. I think some of these ladies want to keep in contact, but they don't want to let you go. Okay.
You can get in touch with me by my email address, letmecookit@hotmail.com, because I am a caterer. My catering business is Blessed Assurance Private Catering. We supply everything except the guest. Give me a moment and I'll make a memory in your mouth. I have a podcast called In the Living Room with Mary Bozeman. Two of the ones that are there is Forgiveness Continued, and When the Answer is No. Because we act different when God tells us no, when our friends tell us no, when we are expecting a yes. And forgiveness continued is that we're all learning that there are times when we forgive people and we don't forget. But have you really forgiven them if you always remember it when you see them? You can always give me a call at 818-916-3884. Now, just know on Sundays, I'm in church. So if you call me, I'm not going to answer. But those are the ways that you can get in touch with me.
Terry, how can we get in? What do you got going on, girl?
Well, I do, as a life coach, I didn't say that initially. I am now restarting my life coach group. So I'll be performing some workshops. And if you would like to get involved in the life coach sessions, you can do that. You can reach out to me via Facebook and send me a friend request. It is Terry, Terri, Gant, Gant, and I will accept your Facebook request. Or you can feel free to email me at gant.terry@gmail.com and inquire about, the life coach sessions. I am also writing a book. So hopefully next year, you will be able to read my book. I am also a poet. So in the poetry, you heard me a little in the beginning, just a little snippet of what I do. And I'm also performing. So if you'd like me to perform or do something or write, I do personalized writing. I do like that. So just let me know. I'll be available to help, hopefully. And just as Mary said, on Sundays, I'm worshiping. And I won't answer my phone on Sunday during worship time, but I will get back to you. So hopefully you learned something, and it was nice to be a part of the panel.
Awesome. I'm Adney Godin, of course. My Instagram is Emerging Phoenix, and I chose that because I've been through the fire and I came out unscathed. My email, adnie.gaudin@gmail.com. The book I'm working on is My Womb, My Choice, or So I Thought, a book to help women heal from abortion, and also to help them know, sometimes we make these decisions and we hold on to that and we have the regrets. But what I learned through writing the book is writing letters to the children that I aborted, and it helped me to get at peace. So that's basically what I'm working on. And of course, one of the sisters asked me to write a chapter in a book that she's coming up with. So I'm working on that. I'm with Called by God podcast with Nixon Sylvain, Rodson Sanat, and myself. I've been having a blast with that. And whatever else God decides that he wants me to work on, I'm his vessel.
All right. Now, Sarah, before you get up here, I want you to tell me what questions you have for the family so you can bless them first. And then I want you to close with what's going on with you. How about that?
2 questions. One of them, the first question would be, Mary Bozeman used an acronym. And she said she was she's writing a book centered around that acronym. And I would like to know if did that resonate with anyone? Do you remember what that is? That's the first question.
Okay. Now, like you said, Mary Bozeman gave an acronym.
Yes, she did.
And I know y'all remember that acronym. And if you can tell us, you can put it in the chat box. Mm-hmm. And if the person that's on the phone, if I don't get you, you let me know, and I'll make sure you still get a book if I don't get you in time, okay? So that's the first one.
I'm going to give away 2 books.
Okay.
The next one will be to the person who can remember just one of the chapters that we talked about tonight, because we named several, and that was one of the questions, which chapter resonated with each of us specifically. So if they can just name one of the chapters that they heard and that resonates with them as well. So 2 books.
Okay, man, I got a lot of answers already. And CG Blocker, she was the first one that I got the answer, and it's DNR.
Yes.
That's the first one. I knew they weren't gonna forget that one because that girl, that's powerful right there. That's yeah. We gonna remember that one, and I can't wait to see that to read that book. Yes, ma'am. Okay, the next one. Say that next one again, Sarah.
If the next person that comes up with the A chapter that we discussed when we were asked which chapter resonated with each of us specifically, and we all gave answers about the chapter. So if they can come up with a chapter that we actually discussed in the book, the name of a chapter.
Okay. Yes, Gloria, Gladys, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yes.
Girl, they listening. They listening to you. Okay, what I want you all to do, I want you to reach out to me on my Facebook page, Rosalind Green Price, with your information, or just send me a message in Messenger. We'll make sure you get that book. But Gladys and CG were the 2 that got the book. And like I said, if the person on the phone, if you did, I'll make sure that you get a book too, because it's hard for me to go back and forth, y'all. I don't have them skills. So, okay. All right. So, Sarah, go ahead and close out for us.
Certainly. We got you covered. If you want, just let me know how many you need, and we can make it happen. Not a problem.
All right.
It will be your decision. First of all, I am elated. This has been a week. I am full because I'm honored. I am honored to be on here with Terry, Mary, and Adney. And Sister Rosalind, when I reached out to you, I'm honored because, like I said, ladies, before, this was God ordained. And I know that the listeners will agree to that. Each of you ladies are powerhouses. And I'm just delighted to be with you. I know God did this. And I'm so happy to be among you. I cannot wait till we do a book tour together next year. I see it coming. I cannot wait till we do a book tour. So I want to say thank you for joining me and for accepting this invitation. And thank you to Roz for having all of us. First of all, just thank you. I love y'all. I love these ladies. The book, Run, Sally, Run, if you are interested in getting a copy, if you did not win a copy tonight and you want a copy, you can contact me on my Facebook page. It's just like the title. I'm going to try to put it up. Run, Sally, Run. I'm thinking you all see that. There it is. Sally is spelled Sallie. So my Facebook page is just like that. Run, Sally, Run. If you come to Facebook, you can order it. Okay. Oh, thank you. So there the book is, Run, Sally, Run. You can order that from my Facebook page. You can also, if you want to cash app me, my cash app is $ST Beecham. Beecham is on the book, BEECHAM. Or you can PayPal me. The book is $10. So you can come to my Facebook page, order, you can get it off. You can cash app me. And then when you cash app me, put your address in, I'll send it to you. And I'll just tell you ladies, you notice that, and I told the ladies before, sometimes you got to know when to hold them and when to fold them. And I will say, as we get ready to close out, one of the things that resonated with me when I was writing this book, as a Christian, I felt compelled to have my mind separated and protected from the things that I was going through emotionally and psychologically. And I know that sounds crazy, but I felt compelled to protect my mind. Because I serve the Lord. We all do. We serve the Lord with our minds. And I read in Malachi how God was offended and how he did not appreciate when it was time to worship and to praise him. All the women brought to the altar was a broken heart and tears and depression because of the things they were going through in their relational lives, in their relationships. It is just that important. Well, God chastised the men because the women, when they finally got to the altar that one time in the year, they had so much on them, all they could do was fall down and cry and be depressed. And God did not appreciate it. So I had to get myself in check, because if God did not appreciate that, he certainly would not appreciate me volunteering to linger longer, volunteering to put up with what I should not put up with, because it interfered with my praise and worship to him. And our God is a jealous God. And so I determined that I was not going to be bitter. I gave myself permission to run like hell was on my heels. And so I just would implore, I would encourage you. If you are a woman and you can relate to some of the things we've talked about, you are so much better than that, because we know not only who we are, but we know whose we are. And when we understand who we belong to, it gives you power to put on those shoes, lace them up, and put them to the ground and use them for whatever purposes to get away from that which is hindering you from serving God with your sober mind. We need to learn, ladies, how to balance our spiritual fitness with our emotional and our psychological fitness. It's almost like a triangle. They work together. It's like a wheel. You can't separate those things. They are together. And so I would encourage you to work on wellness, wholeness, and health. And you would be surprised at how your worship to God takes on a whole new view. You're talking about a 20/20 vision. When your mind is sober and you can worship God seriously, in spirit and in truth, and not only the truth of the Bible, of the word, but the truth of yourself and who you are and what your weaknesses are, and you come clean with yourself, like one of the sisters said, you will find that you get power to say no and to treat yourself like you deserve to be treated. We thank you for joining us so much. Thank you.
That's so awesome. This is so awesome. Anybody else want to say anything else before we end? This has been beautiful. Family, if you all did not get all of those email addresses or how to contact my sisters, you can still reach out to me too via Facebook, as I told you before, Rosalind Green Price, in him forever, or you can reach out to me, Rosalind Green Price, Real Talk Now, and I can get it. You can get the information you want, or you can reach out to me via email, in him _forever at Yahoo, in him _forever at yahoo.com. And I also want you to go over to my YouTube channel. I also put the videos on YouTube as well. If you want to go over there and take a look at the videos as well. And when you go there, make sure you like and subscribe to my page. That's Rosalind Green Price, Real Talk Now on YouTube. It has been a pleasure. It has been a pleasure. It has been a pleasure. And ladies, I thank y'all so much for being here with us. We love you. Blessings, family.